You're in chapter 4. And then they show you all the commentaries and things like that in chapter 4. Fantastic. And you know, pastors these days are easy. They don't even have to go to the library anymore. Just bum, 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 bum. You don't even know if they're playing games or actually doing Bible study, right? It's just bum, 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 bum. And then all this turn up, and then you cut and paste. And there's a sermon. Wow, isn't that easy? What has the letter to the Ephesians got to do with Google? Everything. Well, there's one problem, though. They all, when we turn to chapter 4, they all talk about unity. Well, you say, well, that's not a problem. That's a good thing. Unity, of course, is a good thing. I want to tell you there is a problem of preconceived ideas. The question is then, is this passage really about unity? We don't know. We just come in and get all the commentaries, all the references, boom, you know, that's unity. And after all, they wanted me to talk about unity anyway, so that's good. A friend of mine has a very talented daughter. She's very good in piano. And she was accepted to go into Juilliard. Well, most of you know Juilliard Music School in New York. And after being there for a couple of weeks, I talked to my friend. I said, what is it like to be in Juilliard? What do they teach you? What are the secrets? I mean, there must be some basic, well, not basic, but, you know, what do they say to the elite? I mean, that's the cream of the crop. Nothing. I said, what? 2 weeks in Juilliard? Nothing? Nothing. What did you do? What did your daughter do? I mean, you know, well, she just practiced her skills. So hard to get into Juilliard, and 2 weeks, you're just practicing your skills? How many weeks altogether in the whole first year? Not too many. Well, I said, what's the point? Well, the point is very simple. They wanted my daughter to unlearn all her bad habits. Well, that's difficult. Some years ago, I did a fair amount of teaching for internal medicine at the University of Manitoba Medical School. And my students, I don't teach the undergrad. I teach the ones who already got the MD. They wanted to be specialists in internal medicine. I have a little bit of understanding what the Juilliard School is trying to do. Because when I do talk to their doctors already, talking about internal medicine, one of the first things I said, okay, show me your stethoscope. Of course, they all have their stethoscope. Listen, tell me what you hear. How do you use them? The very basics. And you'd be surprised. Now, that's not limited to University of Manitoba. This is all across, too. I'm sure they all have the same problem. I'm not putting down on University of Manitoba. I would never do that. But you'd be surprised how many of them have problems with the very basic things. The preconceived ideas. Okay, so what I will do this morning, I'll try to prove to you, I'll try to submit to you an overview of Ephesians. And I'm sure once I've given you the key, the overall picture, you will understand how to interpret it. I don't even have to tell you how to interpret it, because you will have the key. First of all, the city of Ephesus. It was one of the most important cities at those days, in the New Testament days. And you probably can't see that. That's fine. It's all in Google, so you can go back there and do Google, right? The important thing is it had a harbor. And the harbor actually eventually opened up to the Aegean Sea. The Aegean Sea is just a little bit north of the Mediterranean Sea. Now, in those days, without the airplanes, the harbor, the sea, is very, very important. Once you have a harbor, a good harbor, when the ship could get in, that's a very important commercial center. Besides the commercial side, it's also a very religious area, a city. This is the temple dedicated to this goddess called Artemis. The Greek word actually is Diana, so it's easier to say the goddess Diana. And Paul was, in the Acts of Apostles, spent some time there and actually had some encounter in this city. Now, this is not the real temple. It looks very nice. It looks nicer in my computer. Still not quite nice, but this is just artistic image of that, because now, if you go there, and you might still want to go there, that's all it is left. The ruins. It's been desiccated, it's been destroyed, so it's all in ruins right now. But in those days, oh, I should show you the picture of the goddess Diana. There are actually two images of goddess Diana. Meaning the two images, mental images. One is that they wanted to create an image of a female god that has got many, many breasts, fertility. Okay? Now, this is the one actually just showing there. And the other picture, which I don't have it here with me, is a goddess that's like a hunting goddess, a much younger picture, using arrows and so on to go to hunt, to get things. But both ways, whether it's through fertility or by hunting, there's still the same God they're trying to talk about. That's another goddess, another image rather, of goddess Diana in a garden. And in the city of Ephesus, there are also big theaters in those days. A theater in those days could easily sit 25,000 people. Now, that is a huge one, because a city like that, a big city like that, may have a population like 250,000. So imagine 25,000 people, a tenth of the city. And in that city, Ephesus, Paul preached to the biggest crowd. There's the crowds they used to be sit together and form crowds. And he also experienced the most dramatic escape from the mob. They were really trying to. At one time, they admire him so much and adore him, and the next moment, they tried to get rid of him.